Hello, everybody. My name is Charlie Gipple. I'm the owner of CG Financial Group, an independent marketing organization out of beautiful Des Moines, Iowa. If I seem excited, it's because I am, because this week I launched, frankly, the biggest thing that I have ever done in my career, and it is called the Retirement Academy. What I wanted to do is give you a quick run through, a very brief run through of the Retirement Academy, because I've gotten this question a lot. Hey, what's behind the curtain? This has been a mystery for some time. We have no way of looking at what's behind the curtain unless we sign up. What's behind the curtain? Well, my first response is there are 14 days to where you can look behind the curtain before you're even charged one penny. So there's that. But in addition to that, I thought, yeah, maybe I should do a video to talk about what's behind the curtain. So let's go over real quickly here. I'm not a big PowerPoint slide fan guy, in which I talk about in the Retirement Academy, training on not using PowerPoints 100% of the time, but I digress. The Retirement Academy. What is the Retirement Academy? This is a world-class online training platform that has information sliced and diced across 6 different modules. Now, this is financial professional only, so investment advisors, registered reps, insurance only agents, maybe IMOs. We have a few IMOs that have been interested, and actually a couple of them have already signed up. In addition to that, insurance company home office employees. Now, 300 videos out there, actually 270. I don't want to over exaggerate, 270, but by the time you see this video, there probably will be 300 videos out there at the pace in which we generate content. So 300 videos spread across this, a 21st century agency, which is practice management, consumer pieces, consumer ideas, consumer videos of how to explain annuities, life insurance, long-term care, for example, annuities, life insurance, long-term care, and hybrid products. What's the difference between traditional long-term care and a hybrid product? How are hybrid products able to do what they're able to do to where the long-term care world, the traditional long-term care world, has had to reprice so many times over the last couple of decades, et cetera, et cetera. The Academian's blog, that's the 6th module, and that has currently around 60 different articles and white papers in it. In addition to that, what you don't see here, what you see here is 6 modules. What you don't see here is monthly webinars. Monthly webinars in which we already have a couple of big name speakers lined up. Heather Schreiber, who's a tax expert, Bobby Samuelson, my friend Bobby Samuelson, who's also a life insurance expert. So it's going to be me and him going back and forth. So the material, the content is one thing, but having it sliced and diced in a way that you can actually absorb, that's another thing, because there is a ton of material. This is just one module. So what you see here is when you log into the 21st Century Agency module, one module of 6. That is this page right here. But then from this page, in which you could see I took from my website, you are here. That's what you see when you are there on that particular page. But then as sub-modules, as the 21st Century Agency, you have these items here. And by the way, I'm going to do a quick walkthrough here of what the module of, it's actually the life insurance module, not the 21st Century Agency module. But you will get the point of just how much material is in just one of these modules, in which, again, I'm going to show you here in a bit through the lens of the life insurance and whole life insurance module. So one of 6 modules is what you're looking at here. And you know what? One of these pages, one of these sub-module pages, it's not uncommon to find 40 to 50 videos on that particular concept. You know, I say all the time that when my kids go through the McDonald's drive-thru, or when I take them through the McDonald's drive-thru, which is not very often, that stuff's like poison. They don't order the Big Mac. What do they order? They order the number 1. Much of life is around how the products are packaged, not so much about the product. The packaging of the product is just as important as the product itself. Now, this is world-class content. I do believe that content is king in our industry, but you have to have it packaged up right and easily navigatable. Is navigatable a word? Well, it is now. This is a second module here. This is a little less of a robust module, but this one page, when you log into the consumer videos, brochures, and ads, what you'll find is 4 different sections on that one page. Okay, what about module 3, which is annuities? You have SPIAs, DIAs, so you can see there's a method to the madness in how we slice and dice the sub-modules, which you can view each one of these as a separate sub-page under the overarching annuities page. And by the way, what's on the annuities Generic page is stuff that is not specific to any one of the underlying annuities. So again, a lot of method to the madness, a lot of thought went into this. Life insurance, this module is absolutely huge. This is the module, then here are the sub pages, the sub modules to the overarching life insurance module. Here you have long-term care sliced and diced really into two different directions, which makes sense, right? Now that's module 5. What is module 6? This is the blog, and at launch on April 5th, this is screenshots is what it is of the articles that are out there on the blog. Now, you may not be able to see very clearly, but there is a description. There are topics that each of these blog posts, each of these articles have from a categorization standpoint. So if you say, you know what, I'm looking at Bobby Samuelson here. Yes, that's a webinar invite. And he is going to talk largely, or he is categorized in the IUL and whole life insurance area. I'm just going to click on one of these little categories. Then what do you find? Then you find stuff like IUL versus whole life insurance. You find other articles. So all of this stuff, very organized. It almost killed us organizing all this stuff. Why? Because it's not about shotgunning a ton of information to you. Yes, content is king, but if you can't navigate to it, then it's all kind of a moot point. Now, before I show you just a snapshot of what the life insurance module looks like, and then we'll click into the submodule of whole life insurance. By the way, CG Financial Group agents can get the Retirement Academy for free. And it's so much more than what you just look at here, because sometimes drip training is better than drinking out of a fire hose. And what I just showed you, I'm fully cognizant that's a fire hose. So what you get is automatic emails that come to you twice a week that is more of a drip training process than it is about the shotgun drinking from a fire hydrant process. So here, what I just clicked over to is once you log in, and by the way, the subscription costs, you can see that when you click on join us, but now I am logged in and everything. So when you log in, you would be immediately sent to member headquarters, but from there, everything spider webs out. So what I did was I clicked on module 4, which is life insurance, right? Within module 4, you see that map that I just showed you in the PowerPoint. And then from here, you can spider web out to any of these 5 different sub modules. But what's in module 4? What's on this page is not specific to any one life insurance topic. It's specific to all of them, right? Now, what did I add over the last week or so? Well, you can see here optimizing whole life insurance with paid up additions. So that's a white paper that I added here over the last week. But that's not all that this page entails before we actually click into the sub module. A ton of information here. So this is a video slider, for example. So this page probably has 30 to 40 videos on it. What is Tefra Defra Tamra? Why max fund a life policy? Why do caps and dividends increase and decrease? IRRs and cash flow analysis on life insurance, stock companies, mutual companies, selling life insurance as investments, new money pricing versus portfolio pricing. Well, let's continue to go down. Let's talk about virtualizing your practice. Quote engines, you click there, that takes you to our quote engine section. Here are articles and blog posts specific to life insurance. So what it does is it takes information from the blog area, which is module 6, and feeds it into the life insurance area, those that are specific to life insurance. And of course, you can slice and dice the blog posts from here, as mentioned previously. You go down, you have a flip book, something that you can utilize when it comes to simplifying the conversations. Another video slider, how do I pose conversations with consumers? This stuff that I've trained on for 20 some years. Here are some tools. Down here, you have taxation. What's a MEC? Changes to Section 7702, tax risk if a policy lapses. What happens if you put $100,000 into a life insurance policy, you take loans to the tune of $200,000, but then that policy lapses? That's where I talk about that in about a 3-minute video here. Here we have a couple of white papers. So again, pulling from that blog section, those blogs that are white papers on Biden administration's tax plan as well as 7702. So that is merely this right here. And by the way, this right here This whole thing, this whole rectangle is 1/6 of the material that's in the Retirement Academy. And then this right here that you just looked at is 1/6 of what is right here. So let's go to Whole Life. Let's go to the submodule of Whole Life. You have nuts and bolts. What is Whole Life? How does it vary from IUL? You go down here, and then you have the first section, which is nuts and bolts of whole life insurance. What is whole life? IUL versus whole life. IUL versus whole life. Which is quote unquote better? The numbers on whole life, stock companies, mutuals. So there is a healthy repeat here. If I'm getting excited, if it appears I'm getting excited, well, I am. Sales ideas. Here's a napkin diagram. How do you have the cash value life insurance conversation? Napkin diagram 2. Well, that's continued. That's kind of cool. Little napkin, little green napkin box, right? Then articles. Ned Ryerson, the insurance guy, I think is just as cool as the stock guy, although I love stocks as well. Technical and actuarial. What's a good benchmark for what carriers invest in? Dividends and caps will likely continue to decrease. I explain why that is. Blog post here, again, feeding from module 6, wherever that is. So what you just saw, I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. What you just saw over here on the left-hand side is this and this right here, these two little hexagons. And by the way, the hexagons, there's a method to that madness, but I digress. What you just saw were those two things that you get access to if you're a member. Actually, what you get access to if you're a member is not those two things. You get access to all of this stuff over here. That is the Retirement Academy. It's www.retirement-academy.com if you're a financial professional and would like to be a member. And not only would you be a member of the Retirement Academy, you would be a founding member. And by being a founding member, you get pricing that you will not be able to get if you otherwise sign up after July 5th, 2021. Why? Because you're a founding member, you're a founding academian. And again, if you want further details, go to the website, then click on the Join Us page.